Khalida Zia do right now? I mean, will she sit there and let the generals rule? Will there be a struggle for power? Who will be in charge? The generals, the BNP, or the Jamaat-e-Islami?
That is the question that remains to be answered. Unfortunately, I cannot see into the future, but you're absolutely right. There is no, right now, without the Awami League, with them decimating the Awami League and targeting the Awami League, there is no secular democratic force in Bangladesh right now.
What happens to her political party? What happens to her co-political leaders? We heard that the foreign minister was arrested at the airport. The situation is very, very violent. What happens about that? What are her thoughts on that?
Yes, that is unfortunate. Whoever is in control now has decided to target the Awami League. And this was clearly targeting our party. They have killed several of our members of parliament. They've arrested some. They have, the mobs have burned down the houses of almost every member of parliament. They have burned down Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the father of the nation's museum, which was his home where he and my whole family were murdered in 1975. And now they're targeting minorities, they're targeting temples. The Islamists are doing that. It's no longer a rule of law in Bangladesh, it's a mob.
You've spoken quite clearly about the Pakistani involvement in this. And I've said also on my program that the Jamaat-e-Islami is nothing but an agent of the ISI. So is this the undoing of 1971?
Well, 1971 was undone in 75, and my mother came and fixed the country again. And so this is the third time this has happened in Bangladesh. And yes, absolutely. I have no doubt ISI has a hand in this. I have no doubt other foreign powers that oppose our government have a hand in this.
Were you worried about your mother's physical safety? You've spoken about it. Was her life in danger effectively in the last 24 hours before she left?
Yes, absolutely. My mother
would they have done the same to her mother that they did to her father?
Exactly, and that was our fear, is once the mob, they had announced they were marching on the Prime Minister's residence, and my mother did not wish to leave the country, but the rest of us family, we convinced her to, we forced her to, we demanded that she leave the country right then.
Today, Sajib, we've seen some really disturbing pictures. We saw pictures of people's bodies being hung upside down from lampposts and from trees, being called pro-Indian traitors. It's like a scene out of 1990s Afghanistan, or probably worse.
Exactly, that is exactly what's happening. And so, the claim that these are student protesters, peaceful protesters marching for democracy, well, protesters don't murder people and hang them up. Protesters don't loot and pillage. Protesters don't burn homes down, people's homes and temples. So what you're seeing are the facts. If you want to call them protesters, I don't see protesters there. I see an unruly mob. I see militants. I see terrorists.
What will Khalida Zia do right now? I mean, will she sit there and let the generals rule? Will there be a struggle for power? Who will be in charge? The generals, the BNP, or the Jamaat-e-Islami?
That is the question that remains to be answered. Unfortunately, I cannot see into the future, but you're absolutely right. There is no, right now, without the Awami League, with them decimating the Awami League and targeting the Awami League, there is no secular democratic force in Bangladesh right now.
What do you really feel about the Americans supporting the generals, saying well done to the generals?
Well, this is what the Americans do around the world, and every time their policy fails, and now they have turned Bangladesh, which was a developing country, which was a success story, an Asian tiger, now it's going to become like another Pakistan, unfortunately.